Welcome back to After All. We are here in the Cuneo backyard in our lovely all-in-bloom surroundings. And we just want to welcome you to another Wednesday night. Well, you guys have had a few weeks on that first Chalk Your Walk challenge. We're going to announce our winner for week 1, and it is Abby Lang. Abby, you chalked your walk. You were one of the first people to do so, and on top of that, you also answered the quiz with some amazingly thoughtful answers. A few of them even made it to the homepage. So we wanted to bless you, and so we dropped off an extra special surprise in the only way we know how. As the first After All winner, you have won your very own water balloon launcher, which is now
on the floor.
We gotta do that right. We need to have water balloon launcher exception right here.
Water balloon launcher launching water balloon launcher?
Yes. There we go.
There.
It's a beautiful thing. You have a water balloon launcher now. And then we thought we'd get you some water balloons to go with your launcher. So.
That's not gonna fly at all.
Here we go. Ready?
Wow!
Yes!
That
should not have worked.
Congratulations, Abby.
Like an airplane. What? Oh, it comes with water balloons? Little did I know.
Even better.
All right, now, because we're all about family and we saw you guys having so much fun together, we thought we'd give you a box set of 4 big giant squirt guns. So you can have yourselves a real all-out water war. All we ask is send us some footage so we can keep on sharing it. We love you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome. Right on. Well, I hope you enjoy, Abby, and I hope you have fun with that, you and all your siblings. I know there's a lot of you guys who missed week 1's Wednesday After All episode, and so I wanted to re-explain how the points work. I know some of you guys didn't get that explanation in episode 1. Obviously, you go back and watch it, but I'm here, you're here, we might as well just cover it now. The idea is that we are going to give you points based on the quizzes we pass out in the link down below on Wednesday nights, and we are also going to give you points for the challenges that we give you on Sundays. Now, we don't have a hard deadline in place, so you guys can work on any given week's quiz or challenge a little bit late, but I think we're going to have to start putting a deadline on it like 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops. So from now on, we'll figure out what the deadline is. We'll start posting the deadline so you guys actually know what it is. But we give you points for the quiz. We give you points for the challenge each Sunday, and then we add those together. So episode 1's quiz gets paired with episode 2's challenge, and so on and so on. So 1 odd episode, 1 even episode. And then once those get added together, we just see who did the most that week, and then we give them points, and then they get a prize, and we'll come out and deliver it to you, or we'll mail it to you, or whatever. Once you get your prize, that's it. Week 1's done. Week 2 will be done soon. But there's more. There's more to it. There's also the overall points. That's right, the overall After All points. We add together the points from every single week, and then when all of this self-quarantining, stuck at home thing is over, we will have a grand prize for the one person who earns the most points over all of the After All episodes. And that person is going to get a month of free stuff at the snack bar. We'll give them $2 worth of stuff every service for a month, including special events and whatever else we do during that month. So we want you guys to work hard. We want you guys to bless the people around you. And we want you to send us the footage so we can share it with all of you. We're also looking for videos from you guys just to make us smile, pictures from you guys, write us a poem, just anything that we can share with everyone in this format. So just send it our way. We got an upload button right there on the After All webpage, and you guys can upload whatever you want, and then either it'll make it in the video or it won't. All right, we are going to be studying in Luke tonight, chapter 5, picking up at verse 12. We'll be reading on down through verse 16. If you don't have your Bibles, go get it right now so you can read along. Here we go. Luke 5:12 says, "In one of the villages, Jesus met a man with an advanced case of leprosy. When the man saw Jesus, he bowed with his face to the ground, begging to be healed. 'Lord,' he said, 'if you are willing, you can heal me and make me clean.' Jesus reached out and touched him. 'I am willing.' He said, 'Be healed,' and instantly the leprosy disappeared. Then Jesus instructed him not to tell anyone what had happened. He said, 'Go to the priest and let him examine you. Take along the offering required in the law of Moses for those who have been healed of leprosy. This will be a public testimony that you have been cleansed.' But despite Jesus' instructions, the report of his power spread even faster, and vast crowds came to hear him preach, to be healed of their diseases. But Jesus often withdrew to the wilderness for prayer." All right, let's go back over this piece by piece. So first off, we see there's a man with leprosy, and he begs and he bows and asks Jesus to heal him. And then Jesus, before he answers, it's kind of as he answers, but it's right before he says anything, he touches him, then he answers and says, "I am willing." And this is amazing. This is ridiculous. You see, back then, even though they didn't understand how diseases transmitted, they didn't know the science of it all. Obviously, Jesus does, but normal people don't, okay? If you're not God, you didn't really get it this far back in time. We're talking about 2,000 years ago. They knew still, though, you got leprosy by touching someone who had leprosy. They knew how that was transmitted. They didn't understand why, they just knew it worked. If you didn't touch them, you didn't catch it. If you didn't go near him, you didn't catch it. So they were social distancing this guy 2,000 years ago. So he goes to Jesus, he bows at the recommended safe distance. He's the 6 feet away, right? And Jesus, before he even answers, just walks up and touches him. Even though he knows he's sick, even though leprosy at that point was completely incurable, there was no treatment for it. You literally just took the people who were sick and made them live together in their own little colony, their own little micro town. And they would come near to town and they would beg, and you would throw them things. You wouldn't go hand it to them even. And if you wanted to walk somewhere, you'd shout, "Unclean, unclean," at the top of your lungs so that people would know someone with the disease is coming through. Better clear out a path for them. Do not get near them. So Jesus says more with his actions here than he does with his words. He says he's willing. He says you're healed. But bigger than that, louder than that, everyone would be freaking out when he reaches out and just touches him. Would probably blow everyone's minds. And I think a few people would probably be scared. Like, "Jesus, do you know what you're doing? Do you know what's about to happen?" Jesus did. They clearly did not. So he heals him, right? He says, "Be healed." And then he instructs him to not tell anyone how. He does instruct him to tell people that he was healed, but he specifically says not to tell them how. Don't tell them the whole story. Don't tell them basically what Jesus is saying. Don't tell them about me. Don't tell them about Jesus. Just tell them you were healed. Show them that. Go, show yourself to the priest. It'll be proof, all that. So Jesus is keeping the law, and that's really neat. He was instrumental in implementing this law. Even thousands of years before this took place, God brought the law to the Israelites, and they kept track of it. They wrote it down. They followed it religiously, and now he's following that law he laid down for the Israelites thousands of years before. And part of that was, when you're healed, you go and you show the priest. They check you. They don't just assume you're healed because you said so. And once you've been cleared, then you can enter back into society. But you didn't enter back into society just off the fact that you thought you were clean. You went and you got it verified. You went and you checked it with the authorities. So this teaches us some really cool things. Jesus, A, is able to break the rule of don't touch the guy, but that wasn't a rule set down by God. That was a rule based on fear. And then B, he followed the rules that the authorities had set down. Now, of course, he was actually that authority, but not everyone got that. because when the law was laid down, it was given by God to Moses, and it was given, in that booming heavenly voice to the leader of the country. And now this time he's there as a man, a normal human. Not everyone understands who he is. And so he's following the letter of the law. He's obeying the authority. Now, obviously he's the ultimate authority, but to everyone around him, he's obeying the authorities in the sense of obeying manly authority. He's obeying the government or the local government, the priests. So when he does this, it's a great show of where and when does God's word trump man's, and where and when does God ask you to obey the commands of man. Jesus embodies it perfectly. He broke a rule. It was the don't touch rule. Why? Because God knew better. God knew. He knew. As soon as I touch him, this guy's healed. Doesn't matter if I touch him. Doesn't matter. So he was able to break that one. But that wasn't a law. It wasn't codified. That was just common sense. We all know if you touch someone with leprosy, you're going to get leprosy. And then he follows the law on the other hand. And that one he follows is so important, because what he's doing is saying, I'm not abolishing what came in the Old Testament. I'm not destroying what I said last time. He's not changing his mind. He's actually confirming what he said to Moses. He's confirming the law, confirming the Old Testament. And so I think that's really cool that he's able to wrap together both in one instance, where he breaks the rules and follows the rules, and then he shows you why. What kind of rules are you allowed to break? What kind of rules should you be keeping? And so I want to encourage you guys in this season we're living in to follow the rules. Even if there are people around you at any distance, it could be super close, right in your family, could be your own thoughts, could be a friend, whatever. If there's people around you encouraging you, break the rules, break the quarantine, I would encourage you to think about why. What's the point? Is it a selfish reason? Is it something that's going to get you ahead? Is it something that's going to make you feel better? Well, God doesn't say to break the rules of authority, to break the government's rules because you feel like it. He puts down some really careful guidelines and says, first and foremost, obey the authorities over you. Obey the worldly authorities. So if the law says, if the rules are whatever, obey it, follow it. On the other hand, if there are things that are not law, they're just common sense, and God calls you to go against common sense, then that's something you want to do. You want to break the common sense rule that God is leading you to break. And again, you got to remember, he's not just saying, break all common sense. He's saying specifically where you're led. Jesus was led to heal this guy. This is something God wanted him to do. So that's one of the times when you would break a common sense rule. But it's going to differ for you. Maybe it's going outside your comfort zone. Maybe it's doing something for someone that you're not used to doing. Maybe it's talking to someone you're not really comfortable talking to. Maybe it's spending time doing something that's not your favorite thing. Whatever it is, if God's calling you to do it, just do it. And break your old habits, break the old trends, go against common sense. Do something that you're not comfortable doing. If it's for God, it's going to be worth it. And then the last thing, this last example after all that other stuff, kind of a totally different one. It says in the last verse, but Jesus often withdrew to the wilderness for prayer. And I think that's kind of a weird add-in by Luke. If you notice what went before and you notice what comes after, he doesn't really explain himself. He doesn't say why he's saying this or why it's important to the story. He just drops it in there for you. So we kind of have to make sense of it ourselves. Jesus is spending a ton of time trying to teach, and while he's doing that, people are coming to him and asking for favors, asking for healing. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it can tire you out if people are asking for things, and you're giving. It can tire you out. So what do? Well, you don't say no if they need it and you can help them. Help them. But what you do need to do is you need to rest. You need to take time out for you to restore yourself, to get back to that place where you can help them. So if you have been struggling with give, help, this is my encouragement to you. Take time out, ask for other people to help you so you even are able to do that, and take some rest and make sure it's godly rest. What I mean by that is that you don't take time out in a selfish way. You take time out in a way that God would want you to. And you got to pray about that and see what that even is. For Jesus, it was just going off and praying. We know from other examples in Scripture, he frequently took no food. He was fasting and praying. So it wasn't the rest, we might think of, But for him, it was the rest he needed. He needed spiritual reconnection, spiritual alone time with the Father. So that's what he went and did. And it was okay to put off healing people. As crazy as that sounds, it was okay to put off teaching people. Why? He needed the rest. He needed to reconnect with God. So if Jesus needs time to rest and reconnect, I think you do too. And with that, I think it's time for some worship.
Search my heart, Lord. Search my heart and see if there be any wicked way in me. Oh Lord, search my heart. Yes, search my heart, Lord. Search my heart and see if there be any wicked way in me. Oh Lord, search my heart. I want to be holy for you. I want to be holy for you. Oh, help me to be holy for you. Set apart in mind and heart, set apart in mind and heart, holy for you. Search my mind, search my mind, Lord. Search my mind and see if there be any wicked way in me. Oh Lord, search my mind, search my ways, search my ways, Lord. Search my ways and see if there be any wicked way in me. Oh Lord, search my ways. And I want to be holy for you. Yes, I want to be holy for you. Help me to be holy for you. Set apart in mind and heart, set apart in mind and heart, set apart in mind and heart, holy for you. I'm caught up in your presence. Oh, I just wanna sit here at your feet, caught up in this holy moment. I never wanna leave. Oh, I'm not here for blessings. Jesus, you don't owe me anything. More than anything that you can do, I just want you. Oh, I'm sorry when I've just gone through the motions. I'm sorry when I just sang another song. Take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. And I'm sorry when I've come with my agenda. I'm sorry when I forgot that you're enough. Take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. And I'm caught up in your presence. Oh, I just wanna sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this holy moment. I never wanna leave. Oh, I'm not here for blessings. Jesus, Jesus, you don't owe me anything. And more than anything that you can do, I just want you. Oh, I just want you. Nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. I just want you. Nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. I just want you. Nothing else, nothing else, Jesus, nothing else will do. I'm caught up in your presence. Oh, I just wanna sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this holy moment. I never wanna leave. God, I'm not here for blessings. Jesus, you don't owe me anything. More than anything that you can do, I just want you. Yes, more than anything that you can do, I just want you.
And that's it for tonight. I love you guys, and I hope you're having an amazing week. Talk to us, drop us a line, and yeah, I can't wait to see you next time on After All.